quite recently retired at 59. I quit my business, closed my business, and retired at 59. And I talked in that about taking early retirement, and I got, as you do, a rather odd comment that seemed a bit overly aggressive, but there you go. In big shouty capital letters, 59 is not early retirement. Now, I know you were much younger. You were 51, 52?
52, yeah.
52. But it did get me thinking, is it not early? And I had a look, and in the UK, according to the Office for National Statistics, the average age for a woman to retire is 64. It's slightly over for men, slightly older for men. It did go down slightly just after COVID, but it seems to be on the rise. It's going up. My state pension doesn't kick in until I'm 67. Right. So to all intents and purposes, I think 59 is early. I think we were having a chat offline beforehand. I think it's 62 in the US. I'd just love to get your thoughts on, first of all, how do we define being retired? And I'm going to throw in another little bit here. So hang on to the question, because I might forget and have to come back to it. I follow a lovely couple, a UK couple on YouTube called Early Retirement Wanderlust. They're both teachers or ex-teachers. They retired at 51, similar age to you. And they class themselves as early retired. But he does some freelance writing for magazines. They're growing their YouTube channel. They have an income from their YouTube channel. So to all intents and purposes, they're not retired. They're still working. So, and I'm still doing a little bit of work, for clients. But I class myself now as retired. How do we define it? Or rather, how do you define being retired? Because it seems a bit vague.
It is. And I think, and it has connotations as well. And I did a video on that about how retirement isn't for everybody, in part because of how we think of the word itself. And so I would say, to me, retirement, for me, it meant, like my channel says, life after work. And actually even more specific, life after career. So people will, get various jobs or do some consulting or have a YouTube channel or whatever it is. But wasn't their core. They're not still doing the thing that they did for most of their adult lives, full time, every day, all day. It's there. I think people know when they've sort of made that break versus when they're still in it, and they're semi-retired, right? Maybe people are doing part-time work at that same career. But I think psychologically, making a break from the career, and then what is retirement, and then whatever you do after that, even if it's working, if it's by choice, there's a channel that talks about work optional as the phrase to use. Once you become work optional, there's a fundamentally different mentality about how you approach things when you are doing it purely by choice versus I need to do this to sustain myself and plan for my future.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. For me, it's about choice, because I have retired at 59, but you could argue if it was career, well, actually my career, I made the decision to, end my career at 52 and then start a business of my own. So did I retire then? And then that was choice? Well, no, because while I was running my business, yes, it's nuanced, isn't it? The business was a choice, but serving my clients wasn't a choice.
Right.
I'd made a commitment to them, so I didn't have the choice. So now if I choose to grow my YouTube channel and do some work around that, it's choice. I could take it, I could leave it. It doesn't really matter. It is that mindset shift around, actually, I can do this. So what are your thoughts on when is early retirement?
Again, like the devil's in the details, right? Earlier than what?
Exactly. It's relative, right? Isn't it? Yeah.
Is it earlier than you expected? Is it earlier than you are able to collect your pension or your social security or dip into your retirement account savings. What is that? And I think everybody's got to define that for themselves. You know, it sounds like your viewer felt like this is not early. Like they felt maybe they were trying to defend themselves a little bit
Mm.
from people who would say, "Oh, that's too early to retire. You shouldn't do that." You know, it's such a personal definition, and you could hook it on what's the average age of retirement. You could put it in the context of, your family and people that you know and when they retired, and there's just so many different ways to define that I don't think we should hold each other to one specific
No.
definition of what early means. I think it's just earlier than what,
Yeah.
earlier for me, even though we were planning on retiring earlier than the average person in the US, when we actually did retire, we were even earlier than that. So, I don't know.
Mm.
What do you
I
think?
think for me, I look around my, my friends and family and the ages that they've retired, and I'm earlier than them.
Mhm.
So, relative to them, I'm retired early.
Right.
It's nuanced, isn't it? And I think one of the other things that we mentioned or we were talking about before we came on here live was there's no absolutes in life. There isn't any absolutes, and what's right for one person is going to be not right for somebody else.